Hi friends, I am Jebakerupa Roslin and I am happy to welcome you all to a new video from my channel. Today I am planning to share with you an interesting topic that teaches the importance of the effectiveness of our equipment in improving productivity. Obviously, this video is going to be part 3 of TPM or Total Productive Maintenance. In the previous two parts, I covered all the basic things related to TPM. As usual, I suggest you finish watching those videos first before continuing to watch this one. Okay friends, now let us get into the video without wasting time. Productivity is as important as the quality of the product or service. Many times we concentrate more on producing quality products and rendering quality services but fail to concentrate on the volume of resources utilized to deliver those quality outputs. Yes, resources are scarce nowadays. Hence, every bit of resources should be utilized effectively while concentrating on quality. If we have our equipment in good condition, we can address this issue to the optimum level. That's when we all need to understand about 6 big losses and overall equipment effectiveness or OEE. First, let's learn both concepts separately and then we shall also learn the connection between these concepts and their impact on productivity. First, let's learn about the 6 big losses. The 6 big losses were listed by Seiichi Nakajima in 1971 when he developed TPM as common hurdles to improving productivity that also affect overall equipment effectiveness. The 6 big losses are the problems that most commonly cause inefficiency and waste in manufacturing. Though it is a concept that emerged in a manufacturing organization to improve productivity, today I am planning to connect the concept with the day-to-day issue to make you understand the universal applicability of the concept. Let's take an example of a small trip that a group of friends plan to take in their car to a hill station. Now I am going to explain how the 6 big losses may affect their trip one by one. The 6 big losses are categorized into 3 categories of losses. The first category of losses is availability losses. The losses that reduce the availability of equipment for use are known as availability losses. There are two types of availability losses. The first availability loss is known as unplanned stop loss. This is also traditionally known as equipment failure. Unplanned stops are significant periods of time in which equipment is scheduled for production but is not running due to an unplanned event. On our journey to hill station, unexpected damage to the road led to the puncture of our car tire. Now the journey will be disturbed until the tires are replaced. The second type of availability loss is known as planned stop loss. This is traditionally known as setup and adjustments. Planned stops are period of time in which equipment is scheduled for production but is not running due to a planned event. While traveling, we used to schedule to stop our cars to fuel them at the petrol station. This planned stop will also extend the time of the journey. Thus, these two losses in the equipment consume the available time for production and extend the production time. The second category of losses is known as performance losses. Anything that causes the manufacturing process to run at less than the maximum possible speed when it is running is known as performance loss. There are two types of performance loss. Traditionally, idling and minor stops were the first type of performance loss and are now named as small stops. Small stops occur when equipment stops for a short period of time, typically a minute or two. When such a stop occurs, the operator can resolve the issue by himself without the support of an expert. For example, while traveling due to unexpected reasons, we may apply a sudden brake and the car may go off sometimes, which requires a restart of the car without the help of any expert. This may disturb the journey for less than a couple of minutes, but frequent such stops may extend the travel time. The next type of performance loss is slow cycles, which are traditionally known as reduced speed. Slow cycle occurs when equipment runs slower than the idle cycle time. When it rains, the speed of the car will be reduced due to waterlogging and traffic jams due to narrow roads as travelers care to take the corner of the roads to travel. This may indirectly extend the journey time. Thus, these two losses in handling the equipment consume the run time of production and extend the production time. The third category of losses is known as quality losses. Quality losses occur when the manufactured products do not meet the basic quality standard. The quality losses are further divided into two types. The first type of quality loss is production defect, traditionally known as process defects. Production defects are defective parts produced during stable or steady state production. This may include incorrect equipment setting, operator errors, or equipment handling errors. For example, a well-conditioned new car may also give less mileage per liter due to improper clutch handling by the driver. This may lead us to stop the car frequently at petrol station to fuel it again, which also increases the cost of travel. The second type of quality loss is startup defects, traditionally known as reduced yield. Startup defects are defective parts produced from startup until stable production is reached. To make it clear, when a new machine is introduced or replaced, the operators take time to learn the proper way to handle it. The yield will be low until the operator gets an idea about the techniques. For example, when we drive our car for the first time to a hill station, we may not drive it comfortably. Like when we drive on flat roads, we will take time to master the driving skills. Until then, the travel time will be long. Thus, these two losses committed by the operators may consume the net runtime of production and extend the production time. Next, we shall see about overall equipment effectiveness, OEE. OEE is the gold standard for measuring manufacturing productivity. It helps to identify the percentage of productive time in manufacturing. An OEE score of 100% represents perfect production, manufacturing only good parts as fast as possible with no downtime. In the simplest terms, OEE is the ratio of full productive time to planned production time. In practice, OEE is calculated as OEE is equal to availability into performance into quality. To perform these calculation in an easy way, let's first learn how to calculate this factor individually. First, let us calculate availability. There are 24 hours in a day. Let's take it as all time. In that, we plan to work for 8 hours, and that is known as planned production time. Due to availability losses like planned and unplanned stops for several minutes, this availability time is further reduced to runtime. Availability is calculated as the ratio of runtime to planned production time. Availability is equal to runtime divided by planned production time, where runtime is equal to planned production time minus stop time. For example, if the stop time is 60 minutes, then the run time is equal to 480 minutes minus 60 minutes, which is 420 minutes. Then the availability is equal to 420 minutes divided by 480 minutes, which is 0.875, that is 87.5%. Next, we shall calculate performance. Now, we have 420 minutes, that is 7 hours left for production. This left out time is known as runtime. Due to performance losses like slow cycles and small stops, this runtime is further reduced to net runtime. Performance is calculated as the ratio of net runtime to runtime. In practice, it is calculated as performance is equal to idle cycle time into total count, the whole divided by runtime. The idle cycle time is the theoretical fastest possible time to manufacture one piece. For example, the idle time to produce a single piece is 90 seconds. We have manufactured a total of 250 pieces. Hence, the net runtime is equal to 250 multiplied by 90 seconds, which is 22,500 seconds or 375 minutes. Now, let's divide this by the total runtime of 420 minutes and we will get 0.8929, which is equivalent to 89.29% of performance. Finally, let's learn how to calculate quality. Now we have 375 minutes, that is 6 hours and 15 minutes left out of the net runtime. This left out time is known as fully productive time. Due to quality losses like process and startup defects, this net runtime is further reduced to fully productive time. Quality is calculated as the ratio of fully productive time to net runtime. In practice, it is calculated as quality is equal to good count divided by total count. Good counts are parts produced that meet standards and don't need to be redone. For example, out of 250 manufactured pieces, 220 meet the standard and don't require any correction. If we divide 220 by 250, we get 0.88, that is 88% of quality. Now we shall calculate overall equipment effectiveness. We know that OEE is equal to the product of availability, performance and quality. Let's apply that to our example. The product of 87.5%, 88.29% and 88% is 69.75%. The purpose of OEE is not to just stop with the calculation. We have to compare our calculation with OEE benchmarks and know where we stand. So as a benchmark, what is considered a good OEE score or what is a world-class OEE score? 100% OEE is perfect production, manufacturing only good products as fast as possible with no stop time. In practice, this is highly unlikely. Hence, 85% OEE is considered as world-class for discrete manufacturers. For many companies, it is a suitable long-term goal. Next, 60% OEE is fairly typical for discrete manufacturers but indicates there is a substantial room for improvement. Whereas 40% OEE is not at all uncommon for manufacturing companies that are just starting to track and improve their manufacturing performance. It is a low score and in most cases can be easily improved through straightforward measures. The OEE score we saw in our example is below the world-class standard and above the typical standard. It indicates there is a scope for improvement. The world-class standard of availability is 90%, performance is 95% and quality is 99%. We shall make the necessary effort to reach the world-class standard in each category. Yes friends, the knowledge of overall equipment effectiveness will help us to identify the area for improvement and the target to be achieved. I hope I have helped you understand the concept in a better way. If you find my video useful, kindly share it with your contacts. Subscribe and stay connected to my channel for more such content. Thank you.